Hey guys, what's up? It's Audrey and welcome back. So today, yes, we are going to be finishing the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn jacket and I'm so excited. Most importantly, I'm going to show you guys how to do the back of the jacket, which actually says property of the Joker. Well, it just says property of Joker, and then there's a few other writings on the lower half, and then I'm going to show you how I did the collar and a little bit of the lower band of the jacket. I got really confused, so I kind of just gave up on it, and I'm still working on that. But other than that, the jacket is pretty much done. Thank you to all of you guys who have been supporting this, and I'm so happy to see that this is actually helping people out with actually making their own version and stuff like that. So before I actually get into the video, I wanted to show you guys a few things. Here are, I don't even know if I can like pull them all up together, but here are like the lettering cutouts, and this is all on cardstock, and I cut them out with an X-Acto knife. So this is kind of how I first did the pattern, and if I can, I will scan up all of this so you guys can just print it out and cut them out and use them yourselves. As always, I will link the original tutorial down below, and I kind of had to make the property of part myself, but she has the Joker part down, and that's what I copied, but everything else I just kind of did up myself. And as far as the interfacing goes, it just looks like this. This is what I got from Joann's. It's 1/3, and I got two 1/3 yard sheets of it. So here's one side looks plain like paper, and the other side is a little bit more textured. I essentially told them that I wanted double-sided interfacing. I wanted it so that I could place one piece of fabric on top of another piece of fabric, and then yeah, so that's what this is what she recommended, and that's what I got. I don't remember the brand or anything like that, so I'm really sorry. So let me show you what the back looks like. I'm so proud and so happy on how it turned out. A few more little adjustments and things need to be added, but bam, look at that. Tell me that is not the coolest thing ever. And it's actually really not that hard. Like I said, it's just very time consuming and patience inducing, but it's totally worth it in the end. So if you want to see how to do that and everything else, then just keep watching, and don't forget to watch my previous videos on this jacket down below, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Alright guys, so the first thing that I did after I did the collar, which I just realized I didn't film it, but I sewed on the zipper, and it's a separating zipper, so it's a lot easier to sew than a regular one. And as you can see, once it's sewn, it's going to look like that flipped over to where you'll just see the gold teeth. So you want the teeth to be facing outwards and the edges of the zipper to match the raw edges of the jacket, and then that way, once it's all sewn up, you can just turn it and flatten it down with an iron, and it looks perfectly fine, and you'll just see the gold teeth of it, and that's all there is to it. So for the bottom band of the jacket, I did it the same way I did the armbands of it, and I did the collar the same way as well, where I did the folded edge matching the bottom part or the raw edges of the jacket, and I sewed along there. And then afterwards, again, as usual, because I felt like it was too long and there was too much excess fabric, I just went ahead and folded it under and sewed across that line there, just to make it a little bit more clean and nicer looking. Alright guys, so here's the bottom. I have it pinned up. I just have to sew. I folded everything under, of course, and I just have to sew everything together, and I'll be done with it. So it's not going to take that long, so I'm not going to even bother. I'm actually just going to go ahead and we're going to start on the lettering for the back part. So as you can see, Joker is actually written backwards. Here's a little skull, Joker skull thing, and then the property of written in cursive. Okay, so I'm going to be using an X-Acto knife to cut out each and every single letter. So it's going to be a mix of scissors and my X-Acto knife, which I have no idea where I just put it, but oh, it's right here. But just this little guy here, and just cutting out every single letter so that I know it's going to come out properly, and then the last 5 letters or so, since they're all connected, then this is going to have to all be connected. It'll just kind of make everything easier, and then pin it to the fabric, which is this here. And I'm going to do all of these right side, just or not flipped backwards, and my interfacing which is this bad boy here, is actually double-sided, so it should work perfectly fine. And I'm gonna actually have to cut out the letters on the interfacing as well. So and the lettering is going to be for everything too, so I'm going to be using this interfacing for everything that's going to be onto the back, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that as well. But I just wanted to show you guys this. So I have the P cut out, and now it's just time to take it and cut it out from the gold and the interfacing, but I'm going to cut out everything else first, and then we'll go on and move on to the fabric. So yep, there is that. Okay, so here I pretty much had cut out all the letters and how they look, and I just kind of placed it on the gold fabric just to get an idea. And then I just cut out a square section of that fabric and then trace all the letters with the pen and cut everything out all individually. I found it was a little bit hard to do with an X-Acto knife, so I just used my fabric scissors to cut out everything with the lettering. And then here, this is the cardstock, and then the light P is the interfacing that I just kind of placed on my jacket just to kind of get an idea of where I wanted to place everything before I actually placed it. And that's just kind of how it all looks. So here is how I did some of the interfacing, and this is just a heads up, do not leave a whole lot of excess of the interfacing. You want to match it up as close to the lettering as possible, because the extra interfacing, when you put your iron on top of it, it'll burn a hole in your clothing, which actually happened to me, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But it's a really quick fix if that does happen, but that's just kind of what happened. Thought I'd give you guys a heads up. For the Joker letters, I cut out the top part in gold, and then I did the white part where I just pinned the gold pieces to the white fabric, and then I just cut along there, leaving like the edges and everything white and stuff like that, which you'll see right here. So it's simply all I did, kind of like an outlined background, and did that for all of just the Joker part, and everything else was in gold. And I actually didn't need that much white fabric as I thought I did, but it's good to have a little bit of extra in case you mess up. Alright, so here's what the interfacing looks like. I just used the white fabric as the base for the interfacing for this one, and then I did another interfacing that I cut out with just the gold part. So you're essentially going to be cutting out the letters 4 times, one for the gold, one for the white fabric, and then twice for the interfacing. That way you can kind of merge everything all together. Alright guys, and then this is just how I drew the gold pieces and their interfacing. So I drew each individual piece, well, at least the J is the one that has kind of more of individual pieces, and everything else is just one solid letter. But this is just how I did it. I just drew it all on the interfacing and cut it out like so. So it's pretty simple and easy, and it's really easy to work with. Not hard, it's super easy to work with, and yep, so that's all there was to that. Okay, so here's what I was talking about when I did the hole in my jacket. There was a lot of the interfacing that was left over, and when I pulled the iron up, there was that hole there. And so quick fix is just to kind of take that same fabric and just take like a small little circle or something, cut something about that size to cover it up, and then use some more interfacing, and then take another circle, and you're going to put that on the other side and put the iron down and iron them together. And it will help make it look prettier, and it'll make it look like it wasn't there. But you'll kind of still see the little dot, but not as bad as having a giant hole in your jacket or something like that. Okie dokie, so here we are going to be starting by adding the gold to the letters. So here is where I cut out the shape for that section of the J, and then I'm just going to put the gold part on top and iron it down. So first you just do the white base, and you're going to iron that down with that interfacing, and then you're going to use the second interfacing to iron down the gold parts. The J is the only one with multiple parts, so everything else is pretty not complicated or anything like that. But just line everything up and then iron it down, hold it down for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then lift it up, just straight up, and your stuff will be set and ready to go. That's all there is to it. It's super easy, and yeah, if letters come up, just add a little bit more interfacing and you are good to go.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
So that is all there is to it, and as you guys can see, the little hole that happened isn't as noticeable or anything like that, at least from a distance. But if you get really close, you can probably see it, but it's not that big of a deal. And yeah, if the letters are kind of creeping up and everything like the P is, you just add some more interfacing to it and just kind of place it down with the iron, and it'll be good to go.
Okay guys, so that is essentially all there is to it. Like I said, it's very time consuming and very patience inducing, and your hands will be painful, but the outcome is totally worth it. I hope this helps you, and ooh, I should probably turn that off. So I hope this helps you with your endeavors, and as always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments down below. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Have an awesome day, and I will see you on next video. Stay beautiful, stay wonderful, and bye.
こんにちは、かわいい、こんにちは、こんにちは、こんにちは、かわいい、こんにちは、ありがとう、こんにちは、かわいい、こんにちは。Oh my god.